Well, who the heck are you then, brother?
Jeff Fry, a pastor of Darwin Park Community Church here in Litchfield. I hear you've been around Litchfield, so you've gotten to know a little bit about our wonderful city. And yeah, we're here at our what we call a fellowship group, or a cell group, some people call them, tonight. And I just love the Lord, and I love leading people into knowing Him better.
Mate, you're a church planter. How have you made your church more relevant to people in the 21st century?
Yeah, that's important. We really need to be relevant, and I try to always show people that the Bible actually talks about really practical things. You know, some of the things it talks about is, you know, worry, talks about money, talks about love, sex, even, you know, amazingly enough, and things that you think the Bible talks about that. That's incredible. It talks about love. It talks about, you know, who are we? Why am I here? What's the purpose for living? That type of thing. And it's so important, this stuff. So
you reckon the Bible's really relevant to folks in the 21st century?
Absolutely. I mean,
and that's what makes the church relevant.
Yeah,
It's interesting that you've linked the two together, but that's been your experience. Are you finding people are responding to that?
Well, some people do, yeah. Not everybody, obviously. But we have found that, yeah, it's beginning to take root, take seed in people's hearts, and you know, it's exciting when you see it happen. It's really great. You know, I love it because you see people come alive to God and connect with God, and that's what it's really all about. The motto of our church is loving God, loving one another, and loving our neighbor. So, and that's how we try to just show them the love of God, and that God cares about them, wants to have a relationship with them. You know, the Bible is a great love letter from God to us. You know, and a lot of people don't realize that, but it is. It's a wonderful book.
Someone has said that the great problem with 21st century folks is the great no-no is judging them. You can't be seen to judge them. Unfortunately, the Bible judges everyone, doesn't it? Is preaching therefore dead? I mean, how do you communicate the whole world, the whole word rather, to the whole person?
Yeah, it's tough because the Bible does make judgments. We are trying to get what the Bible is saying across to people, and so that can sometimes sound like judgment to people, but actually, if you read the whole Bible and understand the storyline of the whole Bible, I mean the historical truth of the whole Bible and how it lays out, you begin to actually, what's actually revealed is a God who is incredibly loving toward people that don't deserve it. And we're rebels. We rebel against God all the time, and we're, you know, fighting Him really by nature, and yet He still loves us. And that is a great message to put across to people. Now, of course, yeah, God has His absolutes. He puts down things, you know, for instance, the Ten Commandments that He wants us to live by, and but you know. That's not so much judgment as it is a loving father trying to teach his children how best to get along in the world, and so, yeah, there is, you know, going to be a day of judgment, and we can't shy away from that, telling people about that. But you know, that's not the whole story, and that's the great thing, is that it's all couched in this context of a loving God who wants us to come to Him, and so that's what I try to help people understand.
So context is key then, really?
Absolutely.
Context is key in communication.
Absolutely, and you know, I really wish for our country that we would return to that sort of knowledge of the Bible that we had way back when, at one time.
Last question, bro. What do you think is the biggest problem with broken Britain at the moment? Or is it broken?
I think, yeah, the biggest problem with broken Britain is that it needs to come back to God. I mean, you know, when a society, when people, when I, for instance, if I were to move away from God, you know what? I I would set myself on a path of what I call a culture of death. When we move away from God, we move toward destruction. When we move toward God, we move toward life. That's what the Bible says. And yeah, we see it all around us. We saw it in the riots, didn't we? You know, it was August when I was sad watching what happened in those August 2011 riots, because it sort of reiterated to me the fact that our society, it's actually falling apart. The fabric of it is coming loose, and we're moving away from God instead of toward God. You know, in those videos, we didn't see people helping other people, loving other people, did we? We saw people mugging people that were just innocent. You know, a Malaysian student that was just walking down the street, and people were, he was hurt, and then they were taking advantage of him. They were pulling things out of his rucksack. That's not the way we're meant to live. And so, yeah, I really would love to see our nation turn back to God, because then God changes your heart. Then you become a person that starts to redeem things, and starts to redeem other people, and starts to redeem life. You become a person that gives life of life.
Now, Mr. Passionate Church Planter, give us the name of your church and the time that you meet and where.
Okay, right. We're Darwin Park Community Church. We meet actually, strangely enough, on a Sunday afternoon at 4:30 in Darwin Hall, the community hall on the Darwin Park Estate in Litchfield. So, yeah, hey, if you're listening out there and you're in our area, stop by. We'd love for you to stop by. Super stuff.
And his wife makes great shepherd's pie as well. God bless you, buddy.
Awesome.
Thank you,
I'm not
mate.
sure shepherd pie will be there, but
See you later, mate.